All right, tell me we're good.
I just did.
Okay, look, I'll turn this whole thing around.
I don't think you know
No,
how.
I will turn this whole video around and take you right back to the driveway, young man.
I don't think you know how to do that.
I've had a license for a lot of years.
You don't know how to operate anything in this room.
That is absolutely true.
Well, there you go.
Welcome back to Talking Story. My name is John Minton. That's Jacob over there running wild. Hey, it is June.
It is.
This year is half over. Not only is this year half over, it is June. It is the month of your birth.
It is.
And I got to tell you, there's no gifts this year.
I mean, that's okay.
I mean, we had a gift budget.
You just didn't feel like it?
Well, Mr. Pooh needed some things.
What did Pooh possibly need?
He treats, toys. He had a list.
How low was your budget?
He had a list. Yeah, well, I spent a lot on Pooh. What do you mean, how low was my budget?
Why do you spend so much?
I just don't have anything left for you. Pooh is the son that's going to stay. You're leaving.
Well, I guess you can't argue with
you.
You
can't
there.
argue with me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, June, we finished May. It was huge.
It was.
It was a huge, huge reading month.
What all did you read?
I read, I believe, 9 books.
Good God, man.
Well, some of them are pretty short.
I guess that, well...
There's some novellas in there.
Yeah, you got some novellas over there.
But in total, 9. And look, it's a knockdown drag out. It is going to be a knockdown drag out. We might as well just get started going through everything we read in the month of May.
Well,
what a month it was.
Before we do that...
Yeah. I got to turn these over so I can start from the beginning of the month.
What was the consensus on if you are or are not allowed a tie for book
I
of
am
the
not
month?
allowed. Here's the thing. I was told I was allowed a tie if I wore a tie or if Pooh was up here wearing a bow tie. None of these things are going to happen.
Well, you blew all your budget on treats. You couldn't get him a bow tie.
I couldn't get him a little bow tie. I was out of money for a Pooh bow tie.
So you can't blame
and
anyone
I'm not
but
about
you.
to put on a tie. So
You got ties. You could have put a tie
I have
on.
ties, but that was from a lifetime way long, a much different lifetime that I don't want to go back to.
You could have made one out of paper or something.
I could, yeah.
I'm not giving that to you.
Maybe this is it.
No.
Maybe this will allow me. Look, I still haven't made a decision because I can't.
Well, you're going to have to.
So pretty much the consensus was suck it up, Buttercup, and make a pick.
Well,
That's what I heard.
Go for it.
That's what I heard. Let's just start. You ready?
All right.
Before we get rolling, I hope your reading month was as amazing as mine. I hope you have a knockdown drag out in your own head to pick your book of the month like I do, because that is a successful reading month. And all my months seem to be like that since I just take all my recommendations from you guys. So we started off the month, I believe, with Janny Wurtz's To Ride Hell's Chasm. This was an amazing read. The prose is so... it just wraps you in a warm embrace. It is so lush. It is so beautiful. There's nothing left to chance. She will draw a picture in your head and leave no corner uncolored. It is a complete tapestry that she weaves in every sense of the word. And the characters in this, I'm still, if I do another list of favorite heroes, Mikhail is going to make that list. What an amazing hero. And what she does through this narrative of morphing the story, just when you think you got your teeth hooked in, just when you think you got your claws into it and you've wrestled this story and you understand what is coming your way, she morphs it and shifts it again and again until all the way up until a very, very satisfying, hopeful ending when you thought that was not going to be possible. She purposefully wrote herself in a corner, and then what she does to get her out of it is gasp worthy. And then you kind of start to feel like, oh, this is, hope is just going to be foreign for the end of this. I better get myself ready and set myself up. And yet she still delivers on that most satisfying of hopeful endings. Just what a great, great fantasy standalone. I am sure when I redo my fantasy standalone list this year, this is going to crash that list.
Really?
I can't imagine. I know Song for Our Bond will, and I'm just positive I can't imagine this not doing it. Like, this is, think about a far-flung series that has different themes and characters and arcs that you love. She packs all of that into one book and wraps it up in this satisfying way. I cannot stress enough, if you're looking for, hey, I don't want to start another series, I've got too many going right now, I've never tried Janny Wirtz, I'm not sure what I will think of her style, this is a book to pick up. A little bit of mystery, little bit of horror, little bit of fantasy, little bit of that social mirror that we can see ourselves in, because it's such a far-flung world from our usual existence that we can feel comfortable enough to see our own shortcomings in the story and become excited when these characters answer the call of destiny in this moment of history for them and come through in flying colors, or boo them when they do not. It's everything we love in the genre, and it's packed into one book. What are you waiting for? Grab this one.
I mean, if that's true, that it's going to crack your top 10 standalone, I can't wait to see you get rid of Into Curse of the Mistwraith.
I cannot wait. That is January, and I cannot wait. And wait for book haul. I got maybe another standalone that I can get into before January, because I thought this was that good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So is this one of the runners for book of the month that is causing me to battle myself and lose sleep? Yes, absolutely. This is, I don't know how I cannot pick it.
I was trying to look at the stack and see what else might be the other one, but you flipped it around on me.
I flipped it around on you. From there, I went to something, because, you know, this is a bit of a chunker. And what I will say is the prose is gorgeous and beautiful and lush. So it's not something you can just blaze through. So it is something you need to take a little bit of time with. It should be almost meditative as you sink into this world. So, you know, I wanted something a little bit quicker, a little bit snappier after that. So for the buddy read, I went ahead and grabbed up The Fall by Ryan Cahill. Now, we're doing a buddy read with this, with Dr. Philip Chase, Dr. Fantasy himself, Christopher Navo, myself, and Angela at Do Unicorns Read. We did have our first discussion over at Dr. Chase's channel. I'm sure he's going to be posting it soon. Angela, please feel better soon. She was not able to join us because she was a little bit under the weather, and I hope she joins us for the next discussion. But I grabbed this so I would be ready for that discussion, and so glad. I'm going on record here. Anyone that hasn't started Bound and the Broken, start with The Fall first. I think it pays off so well. This will just completely, like, boomerang fling you into this world, this universe. It just drops you in at the cataclysmic end of one empire as another empire is ascending, and the heartbreak of it, the twists of it. It's a multi-POV story of an empire tumbling around you as you're watching through these characters' eyes. It's a multi-POV take on that in just these few pages. I was pretty blown away by what he's able to pull off in this. And the reason you want to start here is because the threads are so strong that start over in the first full novel. The first full novel kind of downshifts and gives you, well, I'll talk about that when I get to it, but definitely start with this. I'm on record. This is your starting place.
And such a quick starting place, too.
And such a quick, I mean, that's a sitting. 70, 80 pages, a sitting or two, if you want to take your time with it. But believe me, when you start it, the pace on this bad boy, you're not going to take your time on it. I mean, it is full-on apocalypse. Dogs and cats sleeping together, dragons blowing things up everywhere. I mean, it's not something that you can set down once you get rolling.
Well, not everyone reads 100 pages a day like you do.
More than more than you would think.
I don't know.
How many pages a day do you read? And I'm not counting emails.
If it was emails, it'd be quite a bit.
Yeah, you'd be up there. I would. That's why I took it away.
Well, it's
I'm not a nice man. So The Fall, truly enjoyed. Truly, absolutely enjoyed. This is your starting place for Ryan Cahill's series, without a doubt. I didn't want to just roll right over into the next full-length Bound in the Broken book, so I went with the Patreon read that you all voted for me this month, City of Thieves by David Benioff. I did read it. I read an ebook because my lovely wife had read this, I think, years ago. I think it was years ago. And told me immediately, oh, you will love this. You need to read this. And I still had, to this point, had not read it.
That's not good.
No, it was not good. She still had her ebook. She let me log into her account and read it because it was your Patreon vote for book of the month, Patreon read of the month. Boom! We're going to put it right up here, City of Thieves.
Oh, because you don't have the...
Because I don't have the book.
Okay.
So City of Thieves by David Benioff. And what can I say? This is the second heavyweight for the battle.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh, I love this book so much. Love this book so much. Everything that I love about reading in this book. Characters that you would just walk into traffic for. Dialogue that makes you laugh out loud in the most harrowing of circumstances swirling around them. You feel bad for laughing and yet you still can't stop. Just humanity on display in its fullest from the absolute depths of depravity during the not fall of Leningrad, but siege of Leningrad. Siege of Leningrad. The depravity going on inside there when there's no food left and people are just having to scrabble at the very basis of instincts, all the way up to finding hope and value and love in humanity in those bleakest and darkest of times. It is the complete journey of human experience in one not very long book, pretty short book. The compression is amazing. And the whole thing kicks off in this prologue of David talking to his grandfather. So he gives you this feeling of that it's an actual true family story that he's dramatizing and relaying to you. So that just gives it more of a concrete immediacy to you as you read it, because you know these experiences, even though probably very heightened and dramatized, not outside the realm of actual humans living through these kind of things in our history. We know that for a fact. And so it just grounds it in that way. And an ending you see coming, and then he shrouds it in this hopeful way, and you think, well, maybe we won't have that kind of ending, and then he pulls the shroud away at the last second and leaves all the gorgeous settings on the table that he had set up, and you know, oh no, there it was a gorgeous magic trick. It is going to end that way that I saw early on. He just made me forget I saw it early on because you're so wrapped up in these characters' story. My wife was right. My Patreons are right. This is everything you read and enjoy art for. It touched me on so many levels in so many ways. And for the life of me, I don't know how this heavyweight battle is going to come out.
No, you got to pick one.
I got to pick one.
You were not afforded a tie.
Absolutely not afforded a tie. So then I went back to Bound and the Broken. So again, I would be ready for the buddy read. And this, as I was saying, start here, because this downshifts into that classical fantasy feel. Kind of like the farm boy coming of age with his friends, being called by destiny to a higher calling, to something that this moment in time of this world needs right now, and he is the chosen one. Those tropes, those heroes' journeys tropes that have brought us to this genre, that we continue to come back to are planted so firmly here in such fertile soil by Ryan Cahill. And he just mines it for all it's worth. The characters are completely believable. You have Dan, Rist, and Kaylin, Kaylin's sister, Ella, something. I'm hazy on that one, but you've got like the three boyhood friends, and it kind of outlines every type of different male coming of age moment, and then you also have a bit of a female coming of age with his sister, and then you have this world that has spawned back up from this cataclysm. And then why I said start with this one is if you think that this is just somewhat of just a simple, I've seen this all before, it has nothing new to offer me, some of the larger than life, iconic, long living characters in this one are starting to pop up in this one, and you're able to appreciate it, and you're able to see the machinations of them as they move their pieces around on the board and try to have an awakening of sorts of the older empire. Again, tropes that we've seen, tropes that we've loved, but with just enough of a top spin that it makes it fun. It's that flashlight kind of read. It's that read that you stay up way too late at night because it's a bit of comfort food, and yet it's an all new spin on it. So you just kind of just find yourself sunk in with these characters and not being able to stop what comes and happens next. And some of the baddies, some of the baddies are truly bad. You cannot wait to boo and hiss against. And then some of them in that three-dimensional way are doing what they think is best. He doesn't just put on a white hat or a black hat. He puts serious doubts and petulance in these young characters that are wearing the white hat as they're coming into adulthood that they have to overcome before you can truly root for them as a chosen one or a leader. And then on the ones that have caused all this, that have caused this uprising of this new empire and squashed the older, more magical empire, they're doing what they feel is best for their people. They're answering to their own conscience in the best way that they feel that they can. And their argument is not entirely unfamiliar to us that live in the modern world and can get subsumed and buried under bureaucracy. So there's a lot going on here, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And the other amazing fun thing that you usually always get in indie published work is the leap that you can already see through the pages of this writer. You're joining him on this writer's journey that he's going to take you on. So not only are you able to follow these characters, but you're following him from the beginning of his journey as an artist as he moves on and becomes more and more prolific. And I cannot wait to see what the next book of Darkness and Light holds, because so many people, Mike included, Mike was in our discussion. I forgot because he had to leave early. But yeah, Mike was there in our discussion as well from Mike's Books Review. And all he could do was have that Cheshire grin on his face because, he's caught up with the series and the rest of us are just starting. So, you can just see all the seeds. And book 2 apparently is where some of those things start to pay off. So I cannot wait next month to get back to the Bound and the Broken.
And if that incredible pitch didn't sell you on it, it's got a pretty cover.
It really does. And Ryan Cahill did the art for these covers.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I believe these are his art, his artwork.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I didn't know he did that.
I had learned that during our discussion as well. I didn't know that either. So, some more Thick's book. I was ready to, again, grab something a little bit shorter. Michael R. Schultheis was nice enough to send me his novella. This starts a new series, Arc of Ascension. This is a lot of fun. This kind of starts off with that, you can grab onto it and chew it easily. That it's kind of like an episode of Dog the Bounty Hunter. And then from there, he starts slowly but surely showing you more and more corners of this galactic empire that all this takes place in. The different faiths, the different beliefs, the different levels of society, the different, let's say, organized crime elements of the society and where they fit in. And some of these characters have tried to get themselves away from it, and yet they're pulled back on a mission that they just cannot say no to because blood is indeed thicker than water, even in the far-flung future. So many. My main thing here was I wish it would have been longer. I wish we could have had more time to unlock a lot of the secrets of this universe and how we got to this point as a species from the old Earth. And I can't wait for the other books to come out and answer all those questions for me, since he did not give me a big, thick whomper here for book 1. But this is a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, if you're looking for something just like quick sorbet, palate changer, a little bit of sci-fi blast to the brain, get you away from fantasy for a while, this was a good time.
Man, people are mailing you free fun in a box.
Don't say that too loud.
It's all free.
Yeah, but I mean,
people are giving
free
away
fun
all
in a
their
box.
fun.
People are gonna, people could have something. They could start checking our boxes. That sounds wrong.
Send us anything and everything.
No.
bombs or otherwise.
You're determined to get YouTube
To get our post office box shut down.
Yeah, you're going to get all kinds of things shut down. You know we had to hit the Cosmere catch-up this month, right?
We did indeed.
We had
you
to.
did.
We cannot miss a month. We have one Brandon Sanderson, the Human Storymatic 3000, read every month because we have to be ready for Dragonsteel in December.
Yeah.
You're not getting ready.
Man.
You're not getting ready.
Maybe.
You're not. Well, you better get on your horse.
You don't know what I got up my sleeve.
Yeah, well, I hope it's something special. But it was finally time for me to crack open one of the special projects. I've had these since they first came out. I ordered these 3 from Dragonsteel because I just absolutely think these are so pretty, these editions. And I was so happy to be to a point where I could finally get to this, and it didn't let me down. I think that being that this whole thing is narrated by one of the characters, Hoyd, it elevated his prose a little bit. Channeling that character, talking through him, I think elevated some of his turns of phrase and use of simile and metaphor. I just think it was such a different flavor from him as a writer for me, and I kind of think this is just. I kind of think the craft means so much to this man. That even in his downtime, he's working on different facets of his craft that he can bring into his projects in the future. And in this case, these secret projects, I think this is what he was doing for himself and his family. And he just pulled the curtain back and allowed all of the fans to get a chance to see what he's working on because the craft means so much to him. And I'm just this whole Cosmere journey for me, not having any idea of who Brandon Sanderson was before we started BookTube, has really been special, man. It's really been something.
And it's going to culminate in Dragonsteel.
And if you could not get tickets, don't worry.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. And we are taking a camera and we're going to try and make it to where you feel like you are absolutely there with us.
That is the goal.
That is our absolute goal. So we've already setting up, who we're going to meet, who we're going to hang out with, who we're going to talk to. And we're going to try and get all of it for you. So there's a lot of us that didn't get tickets, and if you are one of those, hey, we're going to try and have your back right here.
I still have not heard back from Dragonsteel support, by the way, if I'm allowed to follow you.
They'll get back to us.
I don't know.
No, well,
that was a long time ago I sent that email.
I think they got a lot going on over there.
Yeah,
I
sure
think they have
do.
a lot. They got a lot of things happening over there at Dragonsteel. So this, if you haven't got to it, if I were to rate all my Sanderson reads, and I probably will when this is all over.
Oh, you'll have to make a Sanderson tier list or something.
This is up there, man. This was probably maybe top 5.
You're not done yet, but would it be S tier?
I'm not done yet.
Top tier, S tier?
Oh, that's tough.
S tier
is, that's
towards the Radiance level.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that, but it would be maybe
A.
It'd maybe be top 5. It'd be A. I think it'd be A for sure.
Okay.
I had a really great time with this. This was just fun in that Princess Bride kind of way. I mean, it was just very inventive world, just fun, amazing characters. Twist, I did see coming a little early, but which is unusual for him. He usually hides the twist really well, but I did see this one. Maybe I'm starting to learn a little bit about him as a reader.
Maybe that's why you saw it coming.
But truly, truly enjoyable. And then, hey, back to some little short sci-fi. Thomas Bottia, this is a young man just starting his artist journey. He had written a sci-fi novella, Tempest, and he reached out to me and said, hey, would you read this? I really want some honest feedback. And this is, wow. Let me try and sum this up because there's a lot of moving parts and wheels within wheels here. But if you had, let's say, a psychopathic killer that enjoys killing way too much, and and maybe just kind of like a young academy student that is in academy to maybe go to the far-flung stars, and he's enjoying partying just a little too much. How these two characters butt heads and flit and skip through time, butting head. What does that look like? And what's at stake is, well, just the existence of the entire multiverse. And who takes this psychopathic killer and tries to turn him into a hitman for the greater good, is the agency that looks out over time across the multiverse itself. So inventiveness, check. Imagination, check. Determination, check. So many things this young man needs. Tools in his box to start his artist journey. He has completely in his toolbox in his pocket. He can pull them out, not a problem, because, Thomas Bottia, emblem right here. Not only did he write, he got this out on his own, self-published it, got it out there in people's hands, trying to find an audience for his work, even at his young age. And I know I've had contact with him afterwards. He's continued to study. He's continuing to work. And he's somebody that I absolutely want to see what comes next. Is there work yet to do? Yeah, he's a very young person. So, when we covered the book here earlier, the time and space to give your characters time and space to be singular, be distinctive, be different, so they can all have their own voices as opposed to sounding the same. And that means, where are they in the age? How tired are they? How world weary are they? What responsibilities is dragging them down? All those kind of things, as opposed to sounding a little bit like some of the younger characters or things like that. And we went into all that. And I'm so all in on this artist. We're getting this book to another discerning reader. Postage on us, and I think maybe we'll throw this to our Patreons.
Yeah, we should post that this weekend.
I think we'll post that this week, and one of our Patreon. We got some great discerning readers, and somebody that would want to read this and reach out to Thomas and give him feedback. Again, postage on us. We're going to get it to somebody. So this doesn't just languish on a shelf here in the studio. This is going to go to somebody, and he's going to continue to get feedback.
Absolutely.
So look for that. And speaking of patrons, why don't we stop a minute and just go, whoop, whoop, woo. Look at these fine humans right here.
I'm going to have to dim that.
No.
That's a little better.
I'm trying to hold it back. I could have been way, way louder.
I'm aware of what you can do.
Look at these fine humans right here, though.
There's a lot of
We
them.
got to have a sound effect. There's a lot of these fine humans. They make everything possible here. They make me fight with myself by picking these amazing reads on the Patreon list. They keep the lights on. They make the decisions, all the way up to them throwing us their content and taking over the channel on Town Square. And if any of this interests you, you want to see how it goes or how it works, just write down there in that description box and click the Patreon link, and you can learn and find out all about it. What did I grab next? This I broke my TBR for.
Really?
I was supposed to go back to the Bulgarian.
That's a bit of a thicker one to break your TBR
I
for.
know, but Tor Books was so kind to send me a copy of James Logan's first book, The Silver Blood Promise. And I was supposed to go back to the Bulgarian, but you know what? It's like, well, I'm breaking my TBR. I'm going to call it audible. I'm going to call an audible and break the TBR.
You also heard from some other booktubers that it was pretty good, right?
Petrick says he thought it could be the debut of the year, in the running for him there. Mike broke his TBR for it, read it, enjoyed it, said, is it S tier? Possibly not perfect, problems with it. But if book 2 was out tomorrow, I would pick it up. So for me, that was like, ooh, I want to get in on this new series from the ground floor right away and see what's up. And I liked it, I think, a little better than Mike. I really, really enjoyed this.
Would you put it S tier?
I wouldn't put it S tier. But I would most definitely pick up book 2 if it was out today and break my TBR for it again, maybe. It really, not just the typical fantasy world, very inventive world, amazing characters, great snappy dialogue. It seems like he's trying to take some of the things that the masters like Joe Abercrombie are doing, like including somebody's inner monologue. I don't think it's to that effect that we would say some of the modern masters are doing. And I think we would put Abercrombie in that list. He's so well loved. So I don't think he's to that effect. But then again, this is his first book. So, hey, fair play to you, man, to take some broad swings. And I loved somebody carrying some guilt, weighed down by their past, thrown something that they can't say no to as far as an adventure to possibly redeem themselves, even though they're not looking for it. It had that trope of fathers and sons and all that comes with that. And you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not a father.
But you're a son.
Well,
and you've had to deal with me.
I have.
So there you go.
To that effect, yes, I do understand.
So I'm a sucker for that trope. I'm a sucker for fathers and sons. I grew up in button heads with my dad, and then raising a son. So it's like I love it in theater. I love it in film. I love it in books. So when the adventure came through that, it's like, ooh, you have a shot of redemption through this relationship with your father, and how fraught that is, and how he can't say no to it, and how he just finds himself thrown into one thing after another, simply trying to do something for his father to begin with. That's what all started this snowball going downhill, was just that. And then he finds himself at the crossroads of possibly saving an entire city or more, as he gets pulled deeper and deeper and deeper into this world and into this city and into the underworld of this city and how it all works, and into the past, the far-flung past culture that used to inhabit this world that has disappeared and left artifacts strewn about. So it's got a little bit of that Raiders feel, of that exploration and epiphany of what these things are and what they can do. There's so much of it I really enjoyed, and opposed to it just being like one side quest after another and the character being pulled along, I liked that. I liked him being in over his head and not being able to back out, but only way through is to move forward, and forward is way, way, way over this character's head, more than he ever wanted to bite off, and more than kind of anyone could possibly do. And the found family and friends that he finds along the way, I absolutely love those characters too. And as this goes along and he's pulled into that world and that underworld in this city, you get more and more and more of this world revealed to you at just the right drip, drip, drip pace, to where it's never like an info dump or too much at one time. I just thought it was really, really, really well done for a first effort. Mystery, world building, characters. What a great package. If you haven't started this journey, I absolutely go out and grab this one and start this. If you want to wait for the books 2 and 3 to come out, I get that. But I was really happy to jump on board this one.
I was about to say, that's really high praise for a first release.
I would tell you, most months, this could be in the running for book of the month.
Really?
To me, this was a thrill ride. This was just fun. This was sheer fun. And sometimes that's what you pick up a book for, or you go to a movie for, or you turn on the TV for. You just want fun. I just want a thrill ride. I just want a Snicker bar. And this was that. And it was just paid off just beautifully for that level. And sometimes that's all you want. That's all you need. And there were a lot of months before I joined BookTube and I was getting Patreon reads and recommendations from everyone else that would just like blow my hair back. This could have absolutely been up for Book of the Month.
Well, you didn't start doing Book of the Month until a few months ago.
Yeah, but it is not up there with those other two, but I would highly recommend it. Mr. James Logan, well done.
If he's listening.
And then I had a little bit of time left in the month, just a little window, just a little bit of time. And it's like, hey, I did my list of these are some series I want to wrap up this year, or I want to keep going on this year. One of those was book 2 of the duology of the Cities by N.K. Jemisin, and The World We Make was book 2. And it's like, hey, I've got a little window here. I think I can finish this. I think I can wrap this up. And I really enjoyed book 1, and I'd so looked forward to getting into book 2. And then
loved it.
Did not love it. Did not love it. Did not love it. And when I got to the afterword of this book, N.K. Jemisin herself saying she wanted to write a Lovecraftian adventure apocalypse in our world, but our world had changed so much between books 1 and 2 that she had lost her way a little bit. It was hard for her. It was difficult for her. Very hard book for her to write. It was supposed to be a trilogy. She cut it down to 2 books so she could at least finish it for the fans. And I think I got a little bit of that on the page. Now, am I saying there's nothing here? No, there was some concepts here. There was some ideas here brought over from book 1 that I just love, absolutely love. Moving into the Lovecraftian idea of what is it that humans do, right? What is it? The first thing that as we start to progress in a civilization, what do? We join together. We live in cities. We live together. We're a social animal. And as more and more of us come together and move through history together as a society, that that city, that togetherness of us starts to form its own type of feel, its own type of personality. And that personality, as it grows and grows, can almost gain a sentience, if you will. And when it gains that sentience, it has an avatar. One of the denizens of that city will be imbued with the power over all of that city. And that avatar must be protected as these other universes beside us that are trying to crack through and stop this incessant noise of humans bonding together and living together, and all these decisions they're making that is branching off into other universes and causing so much chaos, and this just has to stop. So we just have to put an end to it all. As these things crash through and try and put a stop to this, these avatars must be protected at all costs. So some of the quantum physics elements of this, some of the concepts of this, I thought were just really cool and great to tie into the Lovecraftian type of oeuvre. And where it started to break down for me is she writing about the real world. There was oftentimes so much of the real world in there that I found it divisive. Beliefs being brought up that you're maybe not on the right side of humanity, you're maybe on the right side of humanity, and it's like there was a dividing line. And I think to be hopeful and for humanity to find a way and to come together in this apocalyptic would be to come together, to understand and to come together, as opposed to bringing about and shining a light on how far apart we've grown. And she tries to get at that a little bit, but she's shined such a light on how far apart we've moved. I found it a little bit soapboxy for me, a little bit preachy for me, and I just had a bit of a problem with it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So, not. I would say the second disappointment for me this year, which is pretty good. Halfway through the year to have only 2 books are disappointing.
Especially with the amount of books that you read in a month. Like, to go 6 months with only 2 is pretty great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here we go. And we're missing one. We're missing one because we don't have City of Thieves by David Benioff on the stack. But I think this was an amazing May. I think we did a great job around here. I hope you guys had a great time as well. What did you get up to this month? What did you read? What is your book of the month? What stood out for you? Was there a disappointment too? Hit me up in comments. I love comments. We started this whole channel for comments. I'm going to answer them right away because hanging out and talking books is our whole reason for doing this and being here. So hit us up. And while you're down there, hey, that thumbs up, hey, hit that. Let us know that you were here. That helps us find new audience, helps us grow the channel, helps us do everything here. And if you've stopped by a time or two and you haven't done this yet, or maybe this is your first time, and it's like, God, that guy read a lot of books. And I think he took maybe 2 breaths while he told me about him, which is really weird. And I want to see him do that again. Hit that subscribe button down there. You hit that subscribe button, you can hang out with us and talk books all the time, and we would love to meet and know you and have you part of the gang. So nothing makes us happier, and it takes no time at all. Boop! It's like a millisecond. You hit it, it's done, and it feels good.
I feel like you're delaying the inevitable here.
You think so?
Yeah, because you started doing the outro really early, and there's something you haven't done yet that you have to do.
I have to. Okay. I have to pick one.
There you go.
It's between this and, are you gonna put it back up?
Yeah, I'll put it back up.
It's between this and City of Thieves. Gonna be probably on my all-time standalone list. Or Patreon's just knocked it out of the park, along with my wife. Come on, my wife.
She told you years ago.
She told me years ago this would be meaningful to me, and it was. It was a very meaningful journey. As was this. This is like a blue ribbon apple pie in a cathedral. How can you even choose between the two? I mean, they're both astounding. They're both works that you gaze upon or eat in one sitting, even though you shouldn't because it's that good. It's award winning. There's no way to choose.
Well, you should have worn a tie.
There.
Now you got to choose.
I'm going to choose. I'm not going to be happy about it.
Okay.
I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this choice. I could choose either one. Like at this moment, I could go either way, and either way, I'm going to be not happy. Like I'm not going to be happy about either way I go.
I don't think people care if you're happy.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Okay. I've been ready for like 10 minutes.
I'm going City of Thieves.
Okay.
I'm going to go City of Thieves. I absolutely, and possibly because it was such a breath of fresh air. I've been reading so much fantasy. Possibly that's why I was not prepared for it. It hit me in such a way because I've been reading so much fantasy. But the fantasy I've been reading, this does really stand up there with Song for Our Bond, which has been one of my favorites of the year so far. So like I say, I'm absolutely not happy. Everyone should read this, and everyone should read that. And probably... if you haven't started Brandon Sanderson or Ryan Cahill, or if you haven't jumped on board for James Logan, I mean, these are all...
You can't say everyone should read every book you've read this month.
Let me tell you, it was a great month around here. It was a great month around here.
I mean, that's fair. I can't stop you from recommending it, I guess.
That's it. My book of the month is City of Thieves.
Well... Now your job of choosing is done.
And we're gonna sign off right here because if I sit here any longer, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch it up. And you know what that's like. If you're book people, you know what it's like. And if you're book people in my book, that makes you the best people. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being a part of our May. Thank you for making the recommendations in May. Thank you for being a part of the Talking Story family, and it is a family. It's meant so much to me this whole journey. I can't even tell you. My name is John Minton. That over there is...
Jenny Wirtz.
No. You on your best day.
Not even.
That's what I'm saying. On your best day.
Not even half of.
Yeah. No. Let me tell you, the best thing about Jenny Wirtz, the best thing for you about Jenny Wirtz is I think you could possibly say she's a friend.
I would love to be able to say that.
And I think that's as close as you can get.
I hope that's true.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic person.
Absolutely the same. If I can get to the point where I can say, I'm a friend to a great lady, I think we've accomplished something.
I would die happy.
Yep, absolutely. I would, but let's not talk about that.
I would die right now.
It's your birthday month.
I'd keel over in my chair.
Maybe you can get Pooh to share some gifts with you.
I'm not doing that. He doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, but he has them all. I'm telling you, the whole budget's gone.
I don't care.